Do you blow a cut down style call, or do you wish you were better with yours? Well, if that's you, then smash that like button and tell me in the comments what kind of duck call you blow. Questions about cut down calls is one of the most common topics that I get from other duck hunters. So today I'm going to talk about calling with a cut down style call and answer some frequently asked questions about it. I'm Joel Strickland, and this is Surviving Duck Season. Thanks for watching Surviving Duck Season, where we feed your waterfowl obsession and help you to maximize your hunting experience. Now, I've been duck hunting avidly for over 35 years. I've hunted most states and about half of the Canadian provinces and Mexico. And during duck season, I'm a full-time hunting guide in Arkansas. I've hunted lots of public and private areas and have experimented with a ridiculous amount of gear and techniques in order to get ducks in front of my blind or hunting location. And part of the reason that I'm doing this channel is to share with you what I've learned and what works for me, and hopefully helping you to maximize your hunting experience. I now blow a cut down style duck call, but I haven't always. Today I'm going to share with you my experiences of why I blow one and answer some very frequently asked questions on the subject. So let's get started. What is a cut down? Well, I'm not going to get into the history of how they came to be. I'm just going to tell you what they are. We may do a history video on another episode. But basically, the tone board is modified on a call. Now, this is a Mondo, which they manufacture it as a cut down. But basically, the idea is a tone board, which is this part of the call, on most calls would be a little bit longer, and so what they would do is they would modify it by cutting it shorter. Sometimes the angle is changed, that sort of thing. And the reason why they do it is to add volume, add raspiness. One of the most common calls to have had a cut down is a D2 Olt. There are many new cut down style calls, like I said, this Mondo and lots of others, and they actually manufacture them that way, brand new. And most are Arkansas style calls, also known as J-frames. And then there are also the Louisiana style cut downs. Why do I blow a cut down? Truthfully, I didn't like them for the longest time. And even though the guys that I knew who used them shot lots of ducks, I actually thought they just didn't sound that good or very realistic. Many of them don't sound that great up close, but at a distance they really do sound good. For most of my years of duck hunting, I blew a traditional J-frame style call. This Echo right here is an Echo timber call, was one of my most favorite calls. It's a fantastic call. I still really like it. Occasionally I'll even take it out and hunt with it sometimes. I've actually spent a lot of time in my younger years with Rick Dunn. He's the guy that makes the Echo calls. I learned a tremendous amount from him about calling and duck hunting. Now, I was very successful in my hunts over the years as I blew my Echo. I remember in about 2008, I had really changed a lot of my calling styles. I experimented with calling louder and found a lot of success with this. Then I started guiding again. Scott Kerr and some of the other guides were using cut down calls. I was the odd man out. I usually did really well, but when I hunted with the other guides, I saw how the ducks reacted to their calls, especially to Scott's. It was undeniable. So I secretly bought a Mondo and began practicing with it. It was pretty tough for me. And what made it even harder is, like a knucklehead, I did it in the middle of duck season. So, trying something new, a new call, and then doing it in the middle of duck season while I'm blowing another call just wasn't working. It wasn't until I fully embraced the cut down and committed to learning its ways was I able to master it. Yeah, for a while there I said I'd never go to the dark side. But as I began to learn and use it, I saw that it's actually more akin to the tool of a Jedi. And when you combine that with the hunting mindset of manipulating ducks, you will land in my decoys. You understand how very powerful a force that it can be that others can't compete with. Okay, I know that was pretty dramatic, but hopefully you understand the metaphor. So when do I use a cut down? Every day. Most people think of a cut down to only be used in flooded timber, and they certainly do shine there. But I've blown cut downs with great success all over North America in all types of habitat. You just have to read the ducks and know what they will respond to where you are hunting. Now, I've said this before on other videos, not every technique works everywhere. Not every calling strategy works everywhere. I believe that you can use a cut down anywhere that a mallard call can be used. You just have to use it in the right way. If you are in an area of high concentrations of ducks, then certainly you can have success blowing it a little bit more aggressively or loudly at times. If I hunt in an area that doesn't have high concentrations of birds though, you're probably better off blowing it in a more conservative way. And so why would you want to blow a cut down if you didn't want to blow it loud all the time, you say? Well, to sound different than everybody else. So is it possible to call softly on a cut down? Absolutely. At least the ones that I blow. The real benefit of blowing a cut down call is not so much that they're so loud, it's that they're both loud and a soft call and have a very unique sound. Now, if you're not able to blow your cut down softly, you just need more practice. It's all about your air control. Once you figure out how to make the right sounds on it, you're probably going to be loud all the time. I know I was. You just have to continue practicing and dial it back. Dial back the amount of air and you will get softer. Why is it so hard to blow a cut down? Well, I don't really think of a cut down as that hard to blow. I mean, I guess that's easy for me to say after years of blowing them. But really, it's all a mindset. It's just thinking of it in a different way. They are very easy for me to blow now. But when I first started out, I just had such an incredible struggle with it, like a lot of people do. The more traditional cut downs do require a very different air presentation than most people are used to blowing in a standard call. More forced air, coupled with the fact that a lot of cut downs use very stiff mylar reeds, like a 14 mil is very, very common. I remember the first time I tried to blow a cut down Olt and then a DC Mondo, I felt like I was blowing water out of a 50-foot water hose. But I was determined to learn a cut down. I had to change my mindset and get away from thinking that I was blowing just a regular traditional call. I remember in my days of being in the high school marching band, I'd learned several different wind instruments, and every time I was going to learn a new one, I would have to change the way that I played the instrument. I used that idea and adapted it to duck calling. Now when I did, it changed everything for me. It's no different than blowing a goose call. When you pick up a goose call, you know it's different. It's the same thing. It's a mindset deal. So how do you blow your Mondo differently than a traditional call? Well, I pretty much blow it the same. Now, again, that's after I've learned how to blow it. I blow the same kind of notes, the same type of cadences that I did with my other calls. Now, but learning how to call, again, is a very different thing. I know some guys blow their cut down calls with very short notes. Some call it barking, and some people call with a very monotone style of call. I don't say that that's necessarily wrong. They can be very, very effective doing that way. I blow mine very similar to the way that I blow, my other calls. I like my call to have a very wide dynamic range and a very, very different pitch, so I get the highs and the lows and all that kind of thing. Which call should I learn with so that I can eventually change to a cut down? Okay, here's my advice on picking a call. And this is no matter what kind of call you are looking to get, whether it's a cut down or anything else. My opinion is, buy the call you want to use, make the commitment to learning it, and do it. I don't necessarily suggest learning on one kind of call and then switch to another, like graduating to the next level kind of thing. I think that's the hardest way to do it. I think you should definitely just pick one and go with it. What do you pick? Well, I say pick the call that your buddy uses, the buddy that you like, the way he sounds calling. You know, grab a call just like his, because maybe he can help you. He can give you some pointers. That's really a great way to learn to call, is having a mentor, along with listening to some of my videos. Now, I expect that most people watching this video do have some experience blowing a call and are wanting to make a switch. Well, if that's you, there are many different cut down calls being made today, and it just depends on what style of calling you intend to do with it, and really just what you like, the sound that you like. Challenger calls, like this one right here, they are very easy to blow cut down style calls. This is a single reed, they make a double reed as well. I got a couple of their calls last year and used them off and on during duck season. I really like them. They're very, very loud, and they are easy to blow. RNT makes a bunch of different Mondo calls. This one is the standard Mondo. This is the Mondo Short. They're exactly the same insert with just a little bit of a shorter barrel. They both sound really good. I like them a lot. They also make an LT, which is a Mondo Light. It's an easier call to blow. I don't like it because I can't get loud enough on it. When I go to blow it loud, it just sticks the reed. But if you're wanting one that's easier to blow, a lot of guys like it. There are certainly other brands of calls out there that make good cut down style calls. Kurt McCullough, I think all he does is cut downs. KM Calls is his brand. Like I said, my opinion is I wouldn't start with one and move on to something else. Before I move on to the next question, let me remind you, please, in the comments of this video, please let me know if you have any other questions about cut downs or calling. I'll try to help y'all out with answering those, and maybe even do a video if it's something that I haven't already covered. All right, last question. Can you do an instructional video on blowing a cut down? Yes, I can. In fact, I already did. And if you missed it, check it out right here. And if you want to know when to blow your call and how to read ducks, that sort of thing, check out this video right here. I'm Joel Strickland. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.